Hey, what's up everyone, Raging Golden Eagle here, having way too much fun as always. And especially today because we're actually going to be talking about something fun and awesome this time. Which I must say is a pretty welcome change from all the negative crap I've been having to talk about recently. Unfortunately, from the looks of my to-do list, we're going to be going straight back into the negative soon enough. But we're going to have none of that for now. Cause I gotta say, I've developed a lot of respect for Portugal recently. Why, you ask? Well, out of all the countries in the world, they seem to be the first to try to form their own Keijo league. Yeah, you heard that correctly. They liked that anime so much they decided to make it a real thing. And I'm honestly shocked that it's Portugal of all countries that's doing it. I would have expected something like this obviously from Japan or possibly the US. But damn, never gonna underestimate Portugal again after this. Though before you guys set your expectations too high, here's something you have to remember. The group is currently working out the kinks to make the sport actually playable, so don't expect any nipple judo here. The participants are shown wearing padded gear on an inflatable trampoline floating in an indoor pool. And this is perfectly understandable as far as I'm concerned. Cause you see, unlike our enemies, we here understand that there is a difference between fantasy and reality. We understand that in the realm of fantasy, literally anything is possible, and quite a bit of that may not translate very well into reality. Though I gotta say, when it comes to body slamming someone using your nipples, unless the rules specify that you can't whip your boobs out from underneath your padding, I can't see what would be stopping someone from trying, is all I'm gonna say. But either way, this is still in the making. They just started the league, they're looking for applicants. Hell, they're even trying to find a way to make it playable and safe. I'd be willing to bet money we're not going to be seeing that crazy-ass jungle gym stage, for instance. Again, this is real life, you gotta actually be concerned about safety here. Though one piece of advice I would give though, having seen the one video they put out, you guys desperately need to get a sailor on your coaching staff. And considering that it's Portugal, they shouldn't be that hard to find. But it's kinda obvious these girls don't have their sea legs fully developed yet. And maybe experiment with different types of land as well. Maybe something that's a little bit more firmly held in place in the water than a floating trampoline. One of the water parks I used to go to in Germany had this concrete pier sticking out halfway into the pool. We often played King of the Hill on that. So when it comes to Keijo, that would actually be the perfect starting land right there. Just put a layer of rubber over it for safety reasons and there you go. Definitely be a lot easier to move around on that. But yeah, they're still in the planning stages, and right now the initial rules will have 4 to 6 players compete simultaneously for 5-minute rounds. Players can only attack one another using their hips and chest, and players are disqualified by either falling down or out of the arena into the water. The platform can only be touched by the competitor's feet. All that should sound very familiar to those who are familiar with the show. Then they go on to point out that team matches will be 4 vs 4 or 3 vs 3 and last for 10 minutes. A team is declared the winner when all of the players on the other team are eliminated. The time especially is something they're probably going to have to work on in the future, at least depending on how serious the competition gets. But I'll say this right now, as much as people like to complain that nobody watches women's sports, holy shit, if this becomes a real thing, I'll totally watch it. Just imagine what this could become if it ever actually gets, well, professional, and serious scientific study and training gets put into it. Yeah, I know, for that to happen it has to be a cold day in hell, but I can dream, can't I? For now though, it looks like Portugal at least has taken the first steps. So, US, Japan? Step up your game already, man. Otherwise, Portugal's the one that's going to become the Keijo destination of the world. And by the time you get off your fat lazy asses, they're going to be the ones eating up all the good players. That's all I gotta say guys, thanks for listening.